Twin Cities, Twin Cities. My name is Bukwon Holland, and I'm your red carpet host. And welcome to the Twin Cities Film Fest, Minnesota Microcultural Heritage Film Festival, celebrating the Asian American Pacific Islander community. And we would like to thank the Minnesota Humanities Center for the grant to make this all possible. And I am here at the Marcus Theater in St. Louis Park with these wonderful filmmakers from the Southeast Asian collectives. And I am going to have them tell us who they are and what movie they've been making.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Yang. My film showing tonight is called Spiritual Midwives.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Yang, and I am showing my film While We're All Still Here.
And my name is Joua Lee Grande. I have a micro short called Joua Lee Mourns George Floyd and another one called Teb Chaw Land.
Wow, we got some good sounding movies here. So you mind telling us about your amazing movie?
Yeah, absolutely. So my film is based about spiritual midwives and how the Hmong community uses spiritual midwives to help mothers that are expecting their babies they're expecting, and then the spiritual midwives help them deliver the baby, and or if there's any issues, the spiritual midwives assist in that. So
How long did it take you to make this movie?
it actually took me about a month. The hardest thing to do was finding someone who was willing to volunteer to let me follow them for the day. So it took me about a month. Shot it in a day and then edited it in a couple weeks. So yeah.
And are you really pleased about your project? I mean, honestly, I know you are, but are you really pleased because it came from a place of passion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a topic that I've been really interested in for the past couple years, and it's a topic that I've knew about as a child, but I never was experienced it firsthand. And now, making the documentary about it, I definitely have more appreciation for these spiritual midwives.
Shout out to all the women out there. Y'all are the greatest being on the face of this planet, and thank you for all that y'all do. Can you tell us about your movie?
Absolutely. My film While We're All Still Here is a video poem that I created in collaboration with an artist by the name of Phong Lee. Phong Lee is an amazing artist and advocate who was formerly incarcerated at Stillwater Prison. And during his time in incarceration, he wrote a poem about losing his father and his uncle, and about the difficulty he had with feelings of isolation and grief and not having anyone to connect with. And when he was released, we had the opportunity to come together and to record his poem, but to also go back to Detroit, which is where he's from, and to record him being in community with his family and friends and putting that all together.
And where's Phong Lee now? Is he?
Phong Lee was not able to make it tonight, but Phong is an amazing person who's also a filmmaker. So we've had the chance to work together a lot since he's been released, and he sends his best regards.
And what is your message to Phong Lee right now? He's watching. What would you tell him?
Phong, you are an amazing human being. I'm so blessed to learn from you, to work together, and to see you approach all your different art forms, from film to poetry, which we share, to filmmaking now. I'm really, really glad that we know each other and work together.
Right on. And what about you, young lady?
Well, my micro short, Joua Lee Mourns George Floyd, is a 2-minute, very brief piece about Joua, who's an elder Hmong woman whose son Phong Lee, not the same Phong Lee, a different Phong Lee, was murdered by Minneapolis police, and it activated her as an elder to become an activist. Started working with Black and other collaborators in protest, and upon George Floyd passing away, she became one of the loudest voices in activating Hmong Americans in Minnesota to speak out against violence against Black folks. The other piece that I have is called Teb Chaw Land. It's about Hmong farmers here in Minnesota and the ways that they've really shifted and impacted foodways. And it just premiered at CamFest in San Francisco this past weekend. So, yeah.
Right on. Are you pleased and you happy with your project? Thanks for your advocacy. Coming from one Black man, thank you. I really appreciate that. What would you like to say to all of your followers out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to show people some of these pieces. One has been out for a little while, the other one's very new, so I'm excited to have an audience here that's local that gets to see it.
That's right. Be proud of yourselves. I got that one special question. This is like one of my favorite questions to ask. The older you is watching right now. What would you like to tell the older you?
I would probably tell him that I hope you didn't stop making films, because I think all artists, encounter obstacles that for one way or another they stop their craft, and I hope to tell my older self that don't stop whatever obstacles you may encounter, to keep creating art, and go Timberwolves.
Go Wolves, yeah. And what would you like to tell your older self? Your older self is watching right now. What would you tell him?
Yeah, very similar to what Dan said. I would say that I hope that you are continuing to be creative, that you're continuing to create and connect with other people and finding ways to use your art to empower other people. So that's what I would tell myself.
And what would you like to tell your older self?
I would like to tell my older self that I really hope that you continue to use filmmaking, storytelling to impact change, and that all the chaos that's happening in the world now and will happen in the future does not make you lose hope.
Excellent. And do we have anything up the pipeline next for you, my man?
Currently in the pipe work right now, I don't have anything that's close to being finished. So most of my stuff is still very early on, so I don't even have a timetable for it. But multiple projects coming up, but might be a little while from now. So I don't want to do any spoilers.
I get it. So keep your eye on that. Where can your followers follow you? Where can people follow you at?
Yeah, absolutely. So most of my work is on my Facebook page and a YouTube page called Across the Mountains. We specialize in telling Hmong American stories through micro documentaries.
Right on, right on. What about you, my man?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have anything. I guess right now I'm working on resting after a very long period of work. I'm also excited to learn and try new different mediums, particularly video game development at the moment. But you can find me at Kevin's Pencils on Instagram as well as Blue Sky.
And where can we find you at?
So you can find me at Joua Lee Lens on Instagram. My website is also joualeegrande.com. That's Joua Lee Grande at gmail.com.
Would you mind repeating that one more again, please?
Yeah, that's joualeegrande.com, JOUALEEGRANDE.com. And would you also like to hear about some things I'm working on as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so I'm wrapping up an archival short documentary about the Hmong community's impact on the state of Minnesota over the last 50 years. For anyone who may not know, this year marks the 50th year anniversary of Southeast Asians coming to the U.S. post a lot of the conflicts there, Vietnam War, Secret War, the start of the genocide in Cambodia. And so that piece is actually going to screen on Friday at the Minnesota History Center at their event. And then I'm also continuing to work on my feature film, Spirited.
And what time does that feature film start at the Minnesota Historical Society?
So the short that I'm working on, that event starts at 5 p.m. at the Minnesota History Center, and it includes a screening of my short piece, but also entertainment, acknowledgement of Hmong elders. We have some singers who will be there, a ton of other things. I think that the History Center also has a ton of activities at the museum to take part in.
And they got free parking. So thank you guys for coming out. I wish y'all all the best your next projects. My name is Bukwon Holland, and I am at the Twin Cities Film Fest, and I am with the creators and movie makers within the Southeast Asian Collective. And this is my time. Chin up and crown straight, and my name is Bukwon Holland. Peace.